And guys, we've got 1 week and counting until we begin the new NFL season. Next Thursday night, guys, we got the Packers traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Bears as the longtime rivals kick off NFL's 100th season. Hello, everyone. Welcome to NFL Live. Dane Graziano, Damian Woody, Mike Tannenbaum here with us. I'm Diana Rossini. 1 week, guys. Just 7 days. Did you feel like this was the longest offseason? I feel like we say that every year, but it feels antsy. You know, there's so many questions that we need to address, so many stories that we have to get to, and probably the biggest one is down in Dallas, dealing with running back Ezekiel Elliott, who's still holding out. Now, we know he's signed through 2020, right? So he risks tolling his contract for a full year if he doesn't show up in time to get credit for this 4th year of the 5-year deal. Well, owner Jerry Jones, he's had a lot to say about the situation. This is what he had to say at the Cowboys team luncheon yesterday.
Men of our Dallas Cowboy football team, and this is all of us here today, missing one, but we'll have him on the field. And I'm not joking. Actually, we'll have him. If he's not there early, he'll be there late. So we'll take him any game we can get him. We want him here early, but of course they're important. But we certainly, if we were dealing with an injury or we were dealing with a suspension, then we would use him. This is a marathon, and fresh legs, we'll use him late. But really, the whole point that I'm making about all of it, we don't have any movement at all. And the same way we look at anything, we'll get ready for the Giants, and if he's not there at the Giants, and he comes in the next, or the next, or the next, or we'll use him for the playoffs.
I feel like if we just string together all the Jerry Jones sound bites over the last few months, we could put together like a small Lifetime movie there, all the drama. So here we are, just a week out, Dan. Where are we at with Ezekiel Elliott's contract compared to, say, a month ago? Just
checking the text 2 days ago. Unfortunately, nothing has changed. This morning, no updates. So what Jerry says at the end is true. Like, they haven't made any progress, really, in a month. I mean, nothing's really changed since camp started out there. So, landscape shifts a little bit. I think Ezekiel Elliott's resolve has proven stronger than maybe the Cowboys expected it to be. And I think Tony Pollard has been a little bit of a better running back than the Cowboys thought he might be. So it's interesting to see who cracks first here. There's still a belief from the Cowboys' end that they can get him signed in time for week 1. But like we said, the game's 10 days away. So at this point, it's crunch time, and something has to change in a significant way.
Mike, you spent over 20 years in front offices around the league. What's the reality behind the scenes? What do you think it's really like in Dallas right now?
Yeah, well, there's really, the building's kind of split right now. You have Jason Garrett and the coaching staff. They're full speed ahead. They're getting ready to play the New York Giants, like you said, in 10 days. They have to get ready, so they're game planning. The front office, they're getting ready to pare the roster from 90 down to 53, and they're trying to get Zeke Elliott signed. And as Dan was saying, like, even though the game is 10 days away, my concern would be, what kind of Zeke Elliott are we getting back? Is he going to play 10 plays? Is he going to play 20 plays? There's a reason we have training camp, and based on my experience with Darrelle Revis, who was a really good player for us back with the New York Jets, when we signed him, it took him a little while to get going from getting back into football shape. So even if they were going to get a contract done, my sense is if it's not done in the next 24 or 48 hours, and by all indications it's not going to, I don't think we're going to get a full Ezekiel Elliott in week 1.
Damian, how involved do teammates get in situations like this? Like, do you think any Cowboy is texting him, like, come back, just take it? Like, how does this work with guys?
Diana, you're violating the cardinal sin with players. You stay out of another man's pockets in this particular situation. I understand that we're approaching the regular season, but when it comes to business, when you talk about business, players just kind of stay out of those particular situations. I think this whole thing's going to be spurred by, we're going to learn quickly right off the bat. First 2 games, division opponents. Division games count 1.5. You got Giants, Redskins. Guess what? Depending on if this thing goes into the regular season, depending on how those first 2 games, I think it's going to tell a lot about when Ezekiel Elliott is going to show up.
Obviously, historical precedent there with Emmitt Smith. Holding out the first 2 games of one of those Super Bowl seasons under Jimmy Johnson, and that's something that Ezekiel Elliott and his representatives have looked at. Inside the Cowboys building, people will tell you, look, they were nowhere with DeMarcus Lawrence in the morning and had a deal by 5 o'clock that night. So, like, these things can come together quickly. It's possible it does happen in the next 24, 48 hours. They've been in contact. Each side knows where the other stands. It's just a matter of who sort of takes the first step toward the other.
There's no question. These things can come together quickly, and sometimes I think, like, wow, why did we waste all this time? If we had just gotten to a room,
Why
we could have
couldn't we
gotten
just
it
do
done.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, and figure out, hey, you're going to be north of Le'Veon Bell, a little bit south of Todd Gurley. There's always room to do a deal. The other factor, though, to this, in my mind, is Tony Pollard, not as a runner, not as a receiver, but as a pass blocker. And look, it was the preseason. He gave up a sack. Now, there's questions about whose assignment it was in terms of, was maybe a tight end supposed to, it was in the Ram game. But the question is, are they confident come the regular season when they play the Giants and a really good front seven of the Washington Redskins in week 2 to put Tony Pollard out there 50, 60 plays to protect Dak Prescott? And that will be a big factor as they're trying to get this deal done in terms of who's going to give a little bit more to the other side.